All right, so up next, and our first run of the day is Halo Combat Evolved Missions, Skulls, Terminals by NervyDestroyer. So I will hand it over to you, Nervy, for this incredible run.
All right, thank you. So, missions, skulls, terminals, as the name implies, we have to complete all the missions, but also while picking up all the skulls and all the terminals that were added with the anniversary version of the game. I'm NervyDestroyer, been running Halo for close to 2.5 years now, and I'm joined by the wonderful Wackee.
Hello. I've been running a few of the Halos for a number of years now. I'm not very good, but pretty knowledgeable in most of them. Happy to be here today.
All right, so I will get it started. So the timer will start basically on the fade to white after I get out of the cryotube here. So get ready in about 3, 2, 1, start. All right, so first things first, there is a skull back here in this corner, and we are going to do a bit of a checkpoint manip there to save a few seconds. So after picking up a skull or activating a terminal, we are allowed to then revert, because the game does basically mark it as picked up. And then we're making our way to Captain Keys.
Nice easy skull to start.
There's going to be... That is an easy skull to start off. There's going to be a few route differences, so we have to pick up things. Specifically, Silent Cartographer is probably the level that differs the most compared to basically all the other levels. We have to go really out of the way to pick everything up. Bit of a strat here. The devs didn't want you to get lost, so if you just enter and leave, they'll just teleport you.
Don't keep it loaded, son. You'll have to find ammo as you go.
So what?
This will be the last collectible of the level.
What difficulty is this on?
This is on heroic difficulty.
And that's a pretty unique thing. Usually we run on easy or legendary. So how does that play into like, the route differences?
You have to basically like combine some legend easy strats. Basically, some sections you do legendary strats, some sections you do easy strats, some sections you do sort of heroic specific strats. But those are a little bit few and far between. It's basically a slightly easier legendary, so you can be a little less safe in certain areas.
Then there are a couple sides like. So in Halo, at least CE, the nades work really strangely, where easy makes you take a lot more damage, and then as you scale up, you take less self-grenade damage. So there are probably a couple grenade jumps where it's a little bit more risky, I would say, than legendary. But only just because, you know, they don't do the same kind of damage they would on legendary once they're shooting at you. But does that play in anywhere in this run specifically?
Not really, just kind of like have to note you have less health than you would like on Legendary, so maybe don't play as risky. Gonna get on top of this shield here and teleport into the ceiling. Then I'm gonna switch to new graphics because you cannot see in old graphics some little anniversary specific tech that kind of opened up the out of bounds because, well, now we can see.
This is a really interesting trick that was just recently developed to like go all the way to the end of the level pretty much. We used to be able to do something similar like this on one level, the Maw, the last one, back on the classic version of the game, but we kind of took inspiration from that and moved even further, and with the new graphics being able to just go out of bounds a lot more often makes this new run pretty heavy with the teleports and out of bounds and things like that. It's really interesting.
And that teleport's a little interesting because you have to jump on the same game tick that you teleport. It's not as bad as it sounds. You get the feel for it pretty quickly, but yeah. If you don't jump in time, if you jump too late, you just don't jump. And if you jump too early, you don't teleport. So you have to be a little specific about when you do it. But again, it's not quite as bad as it sounds.
We did grab a checkpoint just before doing the teleport. We manipulated it to be as close as possible to the Reaver because there is a slight inconsistency with that teleport and a few others. Not every teleport is inconsistent, but some of them are. And they can just fail throughout through no human error. I'll
Chief,
put
can
it.
you hear me? At last.
And we are using, you can see at the top left that checkpoint done. For MST specifically, those are extremely useful because skulls such as this one, where you have to go really out of the way, they hit it all the way over here by the waterfall. We don't have to walk back, we can just revert. There'll be a few places where we actually just, like, delay a checkpoint. The level coming up, Assault in the Control Room, we use that. Basically delaying a checkpoint. And, I don't want to restart.
That was close.
And then reverting.
Gotta love that MCC menu.
For some reason, like, when you pause, your cursor can just be in a completely... I've had it on a different monitor before. Like, the MCC cursor just on a different monitor. And it's very weird, and it happens to everyone. Just goes all over the place.
Doesn't matter too much on Heroic, but on Legendary, we do that grenade jump not only because it's faster, but also because it skips a trigger that spawns enemies down here, where the pistol reticle is. On the easy run, sometimes you'll see runners intentionally spawn those enemies to grab some extra resources to use, but that's too risky in higher difficulty, so we just skip the spawns and move on.
Coming up is first area. There will be an important trick to hit called drop skip, where if we kill all the enemies on 2 of the drop ships really fast, it skips the 3rd one. So, important that we kill enemies quickly. This first one and the one after this doesn't matter, but then we do have to make sure we kill the enemies as quickly as possible. This section on Legendary is the worst section in the entire game, but on Heroic it's not too bad. Unless I don't get nades. Which I didn't get. Okay, I did get some nades. Good. And now we're going to save the Marines. We want to make sure that we save them specifically. They gotta get picked up by the dropship.
And we're gonna put them to sleep here so they don't get into trouble.
Yeah, we don't want them in any trouble around here, so let's just make sure they're safe. The actual reason we do that is because they talk too much.
Each one of these dropships that comes down has dialogue attached to it that wastes, I think it's like 8 seconds, 12 seconds, something, you know, each one of them has a slightly varying dialogue, but each one of them slows down the progression of this area, so we want to make them either angry at us or asleep.
And here is the dropship where it starts to matter. I need to make sure I kill these enemies very quickly. So I'm gonna spawn kill them as much as is reasonable here.
This ship is very important. There's a script running that tells that ship to leave, and once it leaves the map, it's gonna be despawned. If we can kill everything on the ship after this one that Nervy is now going to, then the ship object is going to be deleted early by the later script that calls in the, like, kind of a, we call it the deciding ship, and then it's going to be reused, and then the earlier script, the ship behind where we are now, is still running, and like it's going to be deleting. It's the same ship, and so if we can do it fast enough, the later script is going to get overwritten, and we see no ship come in. That's because the trick worked, and the script deleted the ship.
Yeah, we're basically overlapping 2 scripts. It spawns in that ship, and then the script that deletes that ship. It's sort of like an unintended thing. We just do it so fast that devs didn't really intend for us to do that, like most of the things we do in this speedrun.
And the way it was found was just unintentionally doing this area as fast as possible. And it just kind of happened, like, whoa, why didn't the ship come in? And there was a bunch of, like, you know, causal research, I guess, like, to figure out why it wasn't happening all the time. And we figured out how to do it consistently. And the way to do it is to just kill everything really fast.
I have to make sure I don't forget this skull. I've forgotten this skull 3 times in a row before when I was doing runs. Are we doing, like, donation reading and stuff like that, too?
We do have donation reading that will happen, but I did have a little blurb I wanted to say before reading any donations today. So if there's time for donations, I'll probably pop that in. else? Keep going.
Just a bunch of driving, so go right ahead.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is, because I didn't get a chance to before the run, I wanted to remind chat what the incentives are that we currently have open for today, since this is our first run of the day and we're just opening it up. So I wanted to remind everyone, !donate in chat in order to donate. And right now, our currently open incentives are, first off, the Fez Sonic Sprite replacement, which I had mentioned before. Replace that sprite with Sonic the Hedgehog, I believe. I don't actually know. So I guess we'll all learn together if we meet that. We are at $39 out of $150 that we want for that before the Fez run. We got plenty of time, so we can definitely get that one met. Additionally, we have a couple of bid wars happening. So for Paradise Killer, which will be up next, I think it's up next, we have Save Henry or Kill Henry. Save Henry winning at $25, with Kill Henry $25 behind, with no love for it yet. So if you want to kill Henry, get those donations in. We also have the Hat Bid War for No Time to Explain, as well as the Character Bid War for the classic SSX trilogy. So if you want to see any of those, for No Time to Explain, currently the Gnome Hat is in the lead, but Top Hat and Monocle is behind by $1, $32 to $33. So get those donations in to see if you want to topple that one over. And then for classic SSX, Zoe is currently winning as the character with $18. But if you want to see Mac or Cowrie, get those donations in. All right, back to you.
Pretty awesome.
Just a bit of a warthog fling to get up there a little bit faster and go hit the button. And after that, we have yet more driving. So if you have donations, go for it.
So there's kind of a theoretical trick here where...
oh no, here we go.
We don't actually need to do that entire first area. The problem, though, is we don't get a Warthog. So there's a potential 2-minute time save that's kind of being hunted down in the past few months, where if we teleport from the start of the level all the way to right about here where we hit loading done, it could potentially save 2 minutes to just kind of teleport there with a Banshee or a Spirit or any other geometry. You know, if we can find that teleport, that would be the biggest change to the speedrun in a very long time.
You had mentioned before that a lot of those out of bounds that you were doing earlier and will be doing throughout the run were relatively recent finds. How recent were those? Like how much has this speedrun evolved despite how old, in quotation marks, this game is?
I think Stair Skip was actually that first skip I did. I think that was actually found in 2021, I want to say.
And the game has been out since, what was it, 2014, in basically the same state. You know, everything was possible, I think, since then. But nobody really played the anniversary version of this game until it came to PC. You know, there were only 1 or 2 console runners who would actually play MCC as their main category. But once MCC came to PC, we got a massive influx of new runners that weren't playing on Gearbox, which didn't have that potential new graphics. Once that happened, which was, what, 2019? Like mid-2019 was when it was released? I'd say like almost immediately we started playing with Out of Bounds in different levels. TB specifically was like the big one that changed a lot. And it just kind of like spiraled out of control from there. Maha got extended Out of Bounds that we could do, where we could go further than we could with the old graphics and do it faster. Truth and Reconciliation changed a lot, and then we moved on to. I want to say that Stair Skip started as a co-op trick, didn't it? Maybe not.
Suppose I should explain what I'm doing here. I am rescuing the Marines. So how the game works is these 3 areas we have to do: cliff, rubble, and river. If all the Marines are dead, it will actually still mark the area as complete. The only exception to this is whatever area you leave last. So I leave river for last. River I have to clear out. It's the fastest to actually clear all the enemies in. Cliff and rubble take forever, so we choose those to fail. In other words, the Marines meet an unfortunate end, and the game says, all right, well, you failed, you can just move on. And so we just move on. And we're going to do this area last just because it's the fastest to clear out.
We need to find the other 2 lifeboats.
We got some Cortana dialogue there.
There's some Marines hiding in the hills above the
Good.
structure.
Everything's
Means everyone
good.
died. I can get away from those guys. They're a little angry at me for... You know, it's fair enough that they're angry at me.
I picked up reports that the Covenant
Oh my god.
and secured the
So we ran in there
Philippi
to
factory.
hit a trigger up at the top of the cliff, basically just to progress the mission script. We need to make sure that we, quote, talked to the Marines. They're angry at us, though, so their dialogue instantly finishes.
Hurry and find the final lifeboats so we can
And now we just need to clear out the rest of the enemies here, and then a dropship will
See you
come
over
in.
there. Nice try. He's trying to hide.
That grunt is so annoying. Call him Waldo.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh, we'll have to figure this one out. Fortunately, he is a minor, so this won't be too bad. He was like a red elite. The colors of the enemies matter. So a blue elite is a minor. They have like just less health in general. Red elites are majors, so they have like more health, more shields. Red grunts, yellow grunts, those are majors. Those are minors, and then jackals with yellow shields are majors, and then
before we abandon the object.
blue shields are minors. The main difference is the majors will be kind of just more aggressive and have more health and things like that. So got a bit lucky there. That could have been not a great situation.
Am I incorrect? Oh, I see Camden in chat. He might have an answer for me here. I'm wondering if... I want to say that Needler red grunts have more health than plasma pistol red grunts. Is that true?
And are holding him aboard one of their cruisers, the Truth and Reconciliation. The ship is currently
Anyway,
holding position
the third mission.
300 meters above the other end of this plateau.
Probably one of the best speedrun missions and probably all of Halo. I can probably get away with saying that.
Big vouch
It's just
for me.
they give you a
Once we get inside
they give you a sniper with 64 bullets in it. You're not supposed to be able to have 64 bullets, but yeah. Anyway, we're killing the Marines because
to the higher ground to the right. We should be able to recon
the scripts are weird, man. This level's weird. They just, like, if we kill them early, we get reinforcements earlier. If we get reinforcements late, we lose like 40 seconds waiting for them, so we just make sure we get them early, and then we just do the rest of this level ourselves.
This level really exemplifies how incredible the tempo is with what we call backpack reloading.
We always forget to explain this,
Because
don't
it's
we?
so like core to the run, just kind of forget about it. Basically,
Notice how I have 3 bullets. I'm gonna double tap reload, switch weapons, and I'll take it back out, and now it has 4.
it's a very simple thing to do. If you're ever doing legendary runs or lasso or something like that, you really ought to do it because it's really easy. You just you hit reload twice and then you switch to your other weapon and let the. You still need to let the reload animation timer finish, I guess, but it just lets you pump so much damage out.
Of course, I have been died for that. It's classic right there. Go.
You can see throwing 4 shots the sniper out, switching, killing 2 more grunts, and your sniper's back ready to go. Just it's so smooth when you're backpack reloading during this combat section. Just keeping the tempo up is it's so fun. Can't get over how good it is.
That was a bad nade. Okay, we're good.
Just barely caught that jackal. Early waves on
And here's
heroic.
lift fight.
Mechanically, is backpack reloading something that you could just inject into a casual playthrough to get that sort of level of fluidity?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's probably one of the more iconic tricks of the whole game. I think it's still in multiplayer too, and everyone's using it there. It's
Oh yeah, that is
it's-
something I never really thought about. I don't play too much CE multi, but I do still inherit I do it. What's the term? Naturally?
yeah, it's so second nature we forget to talk about it.
Man, if the later games had it too, oh, it'd be
Think
so
maybe
good.
nobody's home.
So when you blow up a wraith, its geometry changes, and we can use that to clip into the wraith, and then we're going to teleport upwards by basically doing some shenanigans inside the wraith, and now we're out of bounds, and we're just going to let the Marines deal with the elites. Sounds like it's going well back there.
Yeah, they're fine. These
Just don't just ignore the screaming.
these black boxes we're seeing is how we can
Okay.
guide ourselves in new graphics. This trick was done on old graphics before, in the original versions of the game. It was just a little bit slower because we had to use reference geometry from, everything that was front facing. There was nothing back facing, and so we had to use the bellies. That's what we call it, the hanger. We had to use the textures that still existed in the hanger to guide ourselves. It was a much more careful, practiced set of inputs. But now that we can see out of bounds, it's kind of just like learn where the geometry is, and you can jump across it pretty freely. So it saves a bit of time.
Coming up is called Rosek Special. We used to like sort of do this specifically in that. Oh, they killed him. So we used to like kill enemies in a particular order to get some spawns to open up a locked door. And then one day, someone in my chat, Rosek, said, "Is that really faster than just getting an elite to enrage and follow you into the corner?" And I thought about it, and I said, no, it's actually not. So what we're going to do is just get an elite mad at us. Get him into the corner to unlock the locked door so we can get the skull. It's actually much faster than what we were doing before, and I think that was about 2 weeks ago, maybe?
It's similar to another strat that's used as a backup for that belly skip we did, where if you fall in bounds early, you can jump on a little box and an elite chases you, and you can get through the unlocked door in a pretty similar way.
So when you pick up an OS, you're invulnerable for a little bit. So combining that with a bunch of grenades, we get a crazy amount of height. We just completely skip the 3 floors. And that does set up a sequence break for later.
First gold elite of the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Made short work of them.
And a terminal.
Grab that terminal. Uh-oh, there he is.
We're moving on to save Captain Cheese.
Fortunately, on Heroic, he does not have the power to throw grenades. On Legendary, they have the power to throw grenades, and they're very good at nading everything except the Covenant, including themselves. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with that in this difficulty.
If that jackal doesn't die, we can come get him on the way back. No big deal.
Yeah, no problem. Do a setup here to hopefully have the elite in a good spot for an easy stick. Looks like he was. Good.
The tags say that the sniper rifle is silenced, so if you can kill both of those jackals in the hall before they fire any rounds off, then the enemies in this room are not going to be alerted. We can use that to reliably stick that elite in the back.
We have to rescue the Marines. Just going to do a bit of light rescuing. Need him to die. There we go. Okay. Nice job. Keys is mad at me, but he doesn't want to kill me. That's something called passive Keys. Keys cannot enter combat with you on his own. It's kind of weird. So if we kill the Marines in a particular way so that we kill the last Marine, leaving only Keys alive, and we just have aggro, Keys gets angry at us. But he can't actually enter combat with us, so he just sort of sits there mad at us and doesn't do anything about it.
So the only way he can hurt himself now is to taunt a body by spamming it with a bunch of needlers and having it super combine on himself, which he can do.
Can he?
But it's pretty uncommon if you don't, if you're killing all the enemies quick enough in front of them.
And the level is just going to end a little bit earlier, and that's because of that trick we did earlier, where we boosted ourselves up to the 3rd floor. It left the hangar door open, which, thanks to a whole bunch of really weird level scripting, that results in a sequence break where the level just ends right there. Usually you're supposed to have a conversation and then escort keys all the way to the spirit dropship, and that's where the level actually ends. But because of that sequence break we did, the game gets a little broken, and so it just kind of ends there.
That one was a bit of a brain bender for a lot of people who were trying to figure out how everything worked. Like, we knew that it worked for a very long time, but we didn't exactly know why. I think it was last year that Candid really dove down into it and really explained exactly how it works.
With MCC came the mod tools, and the mod tools actually just straight up gives us the source code for the level scripts, so we can just read it, including developer comments as well. So it's actually never been easier to reverse engineer how the game's working, because, well, you're not even really reverse engineering, you're just reading the source code.
Here's a skull. I believe it's Famine.
I think it's Famine. It is. Then we have to walk over here. Probably time for a quick donation if there's any in the queue.
I actually want to take the time, since we have a bunch more people who hopped in here since the start of the stream, to remind everyone what we are raising money for today. So all donations that we raise during Completithon during this week is going towards Somos Familia Valle, which is a community-based organization created and led by local low-income first-generation college students for LGBTQ+ people of color in the San Fernando Valley area in San Fernando, California. So this is a community that is dedicated to support, empower, train, and mobilize their families and allies for racial, gender, environmental, and economic justice. So !charity in chat to learn more about that charity. And again, everything we raise during this entire marathon goes directly to Somos Familia Valle.
Oh, he stuck it in.
No,
He didn't? What?
How did that not stick me? That's ridiculous.
Can we get some claps in chat, by the way, for the hog behaving today?
It can be a little wily. So here's kind of the whole reason we're going this way. So this is a little different from the actual speed run. Okay. Thank you for that. It's a little different than the actual speed run. We have to come this way to get another terminal and a skull. So we're going really far out of the way here, and you can just drive the hog through here. They intended for you to walk, so it's a little difficult to sort of maneuver it, but not too bad once you master the bowl that is the hog.
The CE hog is my favorite in the series. It just doesn't get any better.
I'm gonna kill these hunters to make sure I get a checkpoint right about here. A checkpoint manipulation. And I really like this position of the skull. I think it's rather clever.
This isn't the map road.
Shoutouts to Saber Interactive.
This is a security override
Right
station
there. You
for
have to
the
do a
main
nade jump to get
facility,
to it.
located somewhere else on this island.
And there
And
we
that
go.
checkpoint we got earlier just saves us the walk back. And also saves us one of the frag grenades for another trick coming up. All we have to do now is end the level.
And we're gonna do it in a little unconventional way, as speedrunners do.
No. Okay, we're good. These grunts are crazy with the nades today.
So we didn't actually hit the button to unlock the security area and get the door unlocked that we would typically do in a casual playthrough.
That's so we can skip a cutscene, specifically the shafted cutscene. We're gonna get through that door without hitting the button, so we just avoid hitting that button so we don't have to watch a cutscene, basically. And the cutscene's unskippable, and it is also timed, so we want to definitely avoid getting that.
3 lines, bunch.
I get down here quick so I get this checkpoint, hopefully. There we go. And we're just gonna get through the door.
Usually we'd be locked behind that door if we didn't hit the security console, but we're speedrunners and clip through stuff.
Ooh.
That was really nice movement there. Just barely clipping the edge there.
Bonnie Blast.
It's time to see if the grenade inputs work today.
Going good so far, but I don't know. This trick just doesn't work sometimes. Hey, an overshield and lots of nades, and we're on the 3rd floor now.
Gigantic skip. Unfortunately, we can't do a follow-up skip by throwing 3 frags up to the back up to that shafted cutscene. But you know, it's only about 10 seconds difference. More realistically, it's more like 7.
Because the nades wind up taking away more of your health. We can't do it on heroic. We can on legendary though. Oh, what the? All right.
It's one of those very few differences you'll see between heroic and legendary. It's just that, you know, we grease every little bit of HP at a legendary often with those grenade jumps, and just can't do it with heroic.
I'm gonna bait these ammo elites over to me just for a little bit of safety. They can't actually come over here, so they just sort of go right there, and I can just crouch behind this, and they can't hit me, and I just get some easy headshots on them.
Yeah, they're not allowed to head down that ramp because they're in a it's a zone border. You'll see that in a few different
like
parts of the game, and you know, Halo 2 is a great example of the same kind of AI behavior.
And that is Silent Cartographer. Got a unskippable cutscene here. If you got any donations in the queue.
32.57 seconds, I think.
That we do. We have a $10 donation from Anonymous, so thank you, Anonymous, that just says, "Great cause and event. I played Halo as a kid, and the speed run looks insane. Here's to more speed." And that went towards also the Paradise Killer Save or Kill Henry bid war. And it went towards Kill Henry, so we are now at Save Henry at $25 and Kill Henry at $10. So if you want to see Henry get killed in that Paradise Killer run, which is coming up next, get those donations in, and we can see that happen.
This is a pretty cool.
I did not get any nades. That's unfortunate. Oh, no. And he's acting funny. Okay, I do need this nade. They get jackal spawns. Alright, I'll see if I can save a nade here. Okay, we're good. Good. So coming up, I am going to do another checkpoint delay, and I'll let Wackee describe this trick, because I got to kind of focus on it a little bit.
So just crossing through that load zone, he waited until after he loaded this outside area to throw that grenade. The reason for that is to delay a checkpoint, and this Banshee is going to be manipulated. It has pretty consistent AI here, where if we stand in a pretty specific spot and do some specific inputs, he gets confused and runs into a wall and flips himself. So we can just grab his Banshee. This
checkpoint should pop right there, and that's a good spot for that checkpoint.
Popping that early is really nice, because we'll be able to revert further back, which is kind of the intent here. The only reason we're going in here is for that collectible.
And you'll notice there's no enemies. The level scripts completely break if you do this, but the thing that ends the level, which is pressing a button, that wakes up, I think, before we actually walk outside, so we can just go to the ending without really having to worry about like making sure we hit specific things in specific orders. That is not the case for some levels. Some levels we have to actually hit all of the level triggers in order to end it. This is just not one such level, so we have a nice brisk, easy ride with no enemies.
Dev intended path.
And this is going to be a lot of flying until we basically flying through the whole level, so feel free to read as many donations as we got.
Well, this is a good opportunity because I had forgotten to mention with that last donation that it also went towards the Fez Sonic sprite replacement. So as a reminder for your donations, when you donate on Tiltify, you can donate towards any number of incentives and bid wars at the same time. Oh, so that one not only went to the Save Kill Henry bid war, but also went towards the Sonic Sprite replacement. We're at $49 out of $150 in order to get that. I believe the Fez run is in about 12 hours or so, a little under, maybe 11 hours. So it's later today at the end of today's block. So make sure you get those donations in. I know we have a decent amount of time to get it, but would really be really great to secure that incentive before we get there. So again, we're at $49 out of $150 for the Sonic Sprite replacement. Get those donations in, ! Donate to get the Tiltify link to donate towards that incentive and all of the other incentives and bid wars that we have going on.
You'll notice Nervy here is continuing to shoot. He's keeping projectiles in the air that keeps the game in an unsafe state, delaying a checkpoint that does not time out as far as he can to the next area, so that if any shenanigans happen, we have a bit of a safety net instead of going. There are no checkpoints from the place we broke the game until the end, so this is the last one we get. So we want to make great use of it if we can. Well, hopefully we don't.
Yeah. Revert can be really long, so definitely want to delay that checkpoint. And there it is. Now we don't have to go back as far.
Yeah, that was a strat that it's been possible since the game has been a thing, but no one really used it for a long time. Basically, if you
shoutouts to Burnt for this next one.
Oh yeah, these are the kind of the OG teleports. That was close. That took months of research and development by one man named Burnt.
Literally months of meleeing a Banshee until he got it to clip just right. That would allow us to teleport a crazy distance, and it's probably hard to tell, but I mean, it's a really long distance. Actually, like an insane bit of time save. Can I? Oh, it's being finicky. Oh. All right, we're going out this way.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Pull the warp.
I'm a really big fan of how many of the strats and routing in this run includes crashing a Banshee. Like slamming it into a wall.
And we are not done with Banshee tricks yet.
One more telly. We're gonna...
It's like, check out this sick Banshee trick. Runs it into a wall.
We melee that one a little differently, so we get a shorter telly to the button, and that is a... Yeah, we're... Fortunately, like, the vehicles don't have, like, any kind of health, so we can just full speed smash it in the walls if we want to, and it just won't take any damage.
3, 4, 3.
Next up, rather iconic level. This is the first level where the flood is revealed. And anyone who's like played this for the first time, like back when it came out, like this level came out of nowhere, and just completely changes the game. The whole dynamic of the game changes, and it's probably one of my favorite levels casually, just because the way it progresses is just really nice.
Where are you going? The facility's the other way. Oh, that's right.
You'll get to see a funny little dev trick they did here, because I'm going to do a nade jump up here, and those ARs that you see shooting are actually just floating ARs.
They reuse that behavior, I think up to Halo 3. They do something similar in a few different areas, just spawn guns that shoot. It's very strange.
That flood reveal is cool and all, but we don't actually see it in the speedrun.
The BSP, or the load zone that he's in here, it's kind of it's got two parts. There's like an A and a B, and the way the mission was designed is you come back to you go down, you do the reveal, and you come back up. But if we can clip through the wall here and get into the B section first, like we can just kind of move on with the level because it's just chained to loading crossing through the second side of that zone. So yeah, we don't ever see the reveal of the flood. We just kind of clip through the wall, and then
They're
they're
just here now. They're just here now. I was sort of hoping they would have like hid something in the reveal room, but here's a trick called Camo Jumo. Someone misspelled the word jump in a Twitch chat probably like a decade ago, and we just sort of stuck with Jumo. It just kind of stuck as speedrunning memes go. Just some random viewer misspelled a word, and that's just the name of the trick now.
Jumps are Jumo, bumps are Boomo. You know, just add a little lightness to the run. This grenade jump to the second floor.
Delay a checkpoint here.
And second Jumo.
Do a second Jumo. Gotta make sure I kill anyone up here.
Fairly recent strat.
There we go. Yeah, it just guarantees that I get this checkpoint right here. I'll actually wait for it just to be sure. There it is. And that's because we hit the button. The elevator's going up. You need to do that in order to hit this terminal. And rather than hit the button again, wait for the elevator to come back down, we can just revert. Oh, Kryphin is reminding me it was actually Svo, I guess, that accidentally misspelled it.
I did not know that.
Neither did I. Bo is one of the OG runners of this game. Now we're going through the swamp. I did pick up a plasma pistol earlier, and that's because on Heroic, there's two things that will end the level here. The Sentinels at the end are dead, or all the Flood are dead. It's faster to just kill the Sentinels, so in true Halo form, we're gonna kill our allies again.
It was pretty incidental, I think, with the way the game was developed, but they really made it so if you want to go fast, you just need to kill all of your allies this game.
On killing some Flood. Looks like I got a lot of them there. Nice. And there's 3 on Heroic. So just gonna... Oh, he just MLG dodged that.
There it is. Now we're on a timer. And on to the book level.
This level is a casino. It's... I don't know how else to put it. You'll see why.
We start out with one reviver that is guaranteed to spawn. But as the level progresses, it's going to be basically a bunch of slots on whether or not we get some of these bumps.
40% per reviver. It's completely random. And we need them in order to do certain bumps, like the one you'll see here. This one is a guaranteed reviver, fortunately. He will always be one, so I'm going to shoot off his gun and have him follow me.
We don't really need to...
Oh my god. That was rude.
We don't need to shoot his gun off, but he behaves in a much more consistent way if we do. So that's pretty much the common thing. Hopefully we can get this checkpoint around the corner.
I can do figure eights to make sure we get it if needed, but there we go. And his AI acts really weird on Heroic. On Legendary, it's much more consistent. Yeah, okay, this is a pretty good... I think he acted... Nope, he did not. He went too far forward. That's alright. That's why we want that checkpoint there.
I have seen that... him being that far forward work before, but it's unlikely, and definitely worth just reverting and trying it. There, that's perfect.
Boom. Bumps us past the door, and now we skip the door, and...
And the casino begins.
Casino begins. I'm going to do a trick called Shotgun Swag, and nade the Flood, which is going to bring a shotgun closer to me. Kind of lets me stay on the move, and also just... The key to dealing with the Flood on this level is very simple. Do not stop moving. Just keep moving the whole time. once you stop moving, so basically the Flood kind of have swarm mechanics. What they want to do is they want to swarm you. And if you keep moving, they can't do that. So just keep moving. And that's really the secret to getting through library.
I should note.
So all over the place, I'm just not going to stop moving.
It's only shotgun swag if you don't look at it and just hold E.
Oh. Well. Anyway.
Just keeping on the move and making sure that we keep as much overshield as possible, so it's a little more comfy. It doesn't really matter on heroic as much as legendary, but we will maybe be using that overshield.
Yeah, I got so much overshield
For another roll of the casino.
And I picked up another frag. It's begging me to do it. So I am gonna boot up something called the HR Patcher because the game can crash. And this trick, it's extremely likely to crash. Just kind of reminded me to do that, so let me boot that up so we're a little safer here. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a trick called Carrier Bump. It saves 40 seconds, and what you do is you throw a grenade at a carrier, lay down on his left or right leg, depending on which school of thought, enlightened philosopher you are, and then you just pray to God you teleport forward. And that's the trick. It's great. It's literally just RNG. Yep. Will I even get a spawn? I did get a spawn at least.
Will it work? Oh my goodness.
Dude, where are you teleporting me over here?
That is the...
I was behind that door. That is the craziest teleport I have ever seen of that trick. Oh my god.
Is there a trigger there?
I'm gonna actually like wait. No, I'm just gonna like go a little slow. I can soft log if I go too quick here, but oh my god. That is a ridiculously far teleport.
I have only seen that kind of teleport like 3 times in my career. And of course it happens in a marathon.
Oh yeah.
Always in a marathon.
Just get... Yeah, and it's gonna give everyone like, oh, like I saw Nervy in the marathon. He just teleported like 6,000 feet. It doesn't go like that. I use a plasma here.
And we had to be extra careful there because there's a chance of just soft locking the game, and you don't want to waste a carrier bump. So we had to be kind of slow there.
They're rare.
That was strangely fortunate, though. So far, we're what, 2 for 2 on bumps?
Yeah. I think when we were doing a practice run, I hit carrier bump as well. It's only in a marathon. So here's second floor is really scary, even on heroic, because there's just a lot of flood around, and then there's a rocket flood and a bunch of carriers in this hallway. So carriers, rocket flood everywhere. I do like to save a frag for that reason.
Thankfully,
this is looking okay,
he did blow himself up that time.
When he does that, though, the carriers do full damage. So if there's actually an MCC specific glitch where if you kill a carrier, it does less damage to you on higher difficulties and more damage to you on lower difficulties. So when the rocket guy blasts all the carriers like that, it just sort of spreads them all around and they explode and they do full damage to me. And I think that's how I died on that one run the other day, was just carriers rained from the heavens, all doing full damage when they exploded, and they just killed me.
The same developer of our HR Patcher scales wrote a blog post about that is kind of interesting. The Curious Case of the Carrier.
Also, where we discovered you have more health on Legendary and less health on Easy, like overall. Grenades do the same damage to yourself. You just have less health on Easy. I think it's something like you have 60 health and shields on Easy and 105 health and shields on Ledge. Which makes no sense, but the game kind of works, I guess.
Yeah, they really just kind of threw stuff at the wall in play tests and changing the tags to balance the game.
Oh my god, just die, please.
This hall is infamous in legendary speedruns.
On heroic, it's not too bad, but it can sneak up on you if there's like nades and then a carrier blows up and a chain reacts. That'll kill you. So you have to be a little careful.
We're setting up our next slot machine here.
Gonna delay a checkpoint, and we're gonna keep reverting until we get a reviver.
Dark door, 40% chance.
Oh
Of
my
course.
God. The library is ridiculous. What is happening?
First try, every door so far. This is a run, all right. We're going around the inside here to skip enemy spawns. I kind of think that on heroic you might be able to save a couple seconds going around the other way.
I need to go very out of the way here. So if I jump over here, there's supposed to be a bunch of enemies that spawn there, but they just don't spawn if you... They didn't extend the spawn trigger out far enough, and I do get a checkpoint there, and I gotta go get that.
I forgot about that on this floor.
Yeah. I'd still probably do it even in the normal heroic run, just because it's really toxic, all those spawns. Last checkpoint. Oh God. I was not prepared for that. We're not getting those spawns.
And there's one more collectible in the level, is that right?
Correct. And it's a really troll collectible.
Pick up some more frags, get jump scared. A little bit more and then we're on to 4th floor. For more slots.
It's a casino. Sometimes it pays out. When it pays out, your hands are shaking and you can't do the next level. It's great.
Now this used to be another slot machine, but a while back we developed a trick called Light Bump, or Light Boomo. The reason it's called Light Boomo is we get into the wall, and then we get above, we stand on a light to teleport us past the door. Previously, we'd use a flood bump similar to the ones that we've done on other places, but now we can just kind of clip through and then teleport past that door, and we're done.
I was telling those nades to delay a checkpoint. That trick can be a little finicky sometimes.
Something subpixel.
Yeah. And on to the 4th floor, where we have yet another slot machine waiting for us.
You said before it's about 40% for each of those to be a reviver.
Yep, 40% chance. So it's RNG whether you'll get a human flood, and you need human flood to bump. You can do it with an elite flood, but they're really unpredictable, and it's like in practice trying for like 30 minutes I got maybe one once. So you need a human flood spawn and then 40% chance it's a reviver, and that's been the primary driver of library and really the speedrun in general for a while, and it's unfortunate.
The way we tell if it's a reviver or not is if we do 40%, I believe, damage to it, then it falls over. And you know, we know that 2 magnum shots will do that much damage, so if something ever gets dropped...
On heroic it's 1, but on ledge, yeah, it's 2.
So whenever we see them fall down early, basically, we know that they're a reviver. And... What is this?
I just got a perfect library. This is ridiculous. I just got every bump.
For context,
Math
that's
on
like,
that? That's like 40% times 4.
40.
I want to say it's like 1 in 50 to 1 in 80, I think, is how we would probably estimate that. Because it's not all, you know, some of the bumps aren't exactly 40% because, you know, multiple spawns, etc. But it's, yeah, that is crazy unlikely. I mean, not astronomical or anything, but...
Getting like the reverse marathon luck.
Someone's got to get it. It balances out the karma for every other marathon, you know?
And
I know Sloth is probably... He grinded the ledge full game for months and months and months and finally got the perfect library. And then I'm just... Anyway, I'm ripping a marathon run. Hey, perfect library!
The classic saying is gold library is a PB, so... Not sure if that'll happen today, but
Well, I'm saving over a minute on this split, so...
So that was our last collectible. We're actually entering the end trigger here from the back side, but no one really notices because it looks exactly the same. Everything on Library looks the same.
They did put arrows in new graphics. So if you're ever lost, when I was first learning the speed run, I did use those arrows a few times, I won't lie. This is an unskippable cutscene, by the way, so if we have some donations, feel free to...
Well, I would like to just encourage chat to give some more love for the perfect library. ! Donate. If you would like to get some donations in, we still have those incentives in Bid Wars open, especially that one for Paradise Killer coming up next. But just want to give another shout out to that perfect library.
It's like weird seeing it like it just happens, but I'm like in shock right now. Like that's not like you'll do 100 runs and maybe get one of those. It's just the casino, and it paid out this time, and yeah.
This level changed the most, I'd say, from the classic way we used to play. This trick that we're doing now can only be done in new graphics. I mean, you can theoretically in a tool-assisted speedrun, for instance, you could do this trick in the original version of the game, but you need to be able to see the level to do it properly. Otherwise, you'd be flying blind for 3-4 minutes, basically. What we're going to be doing is playing some black magic with the load zones and banshees, and it's crazy. Starting out, it's pretty normal, and we do exactly what we would have done in years past. But once we get to the first generator, we're going to start we're doing some magic. It's going to be a little bit hard to explain quickly.
I'm going to search what's left of the Covenant battle.
Fun fact, hitting that button twice. Oh, well, I threw the wrong nade type at this guy, but that's fine, I'll get him. There we go. There's no enemies out here. That's a trick called deload. You push the button twice within a certain interval, and on these nades for a second. And the game thinks the door is closed, but it just opens. And we can sort of go through here nice and easy, get this Banshee. Unfortunately, unlike Assault on the Control Room, this is the level I was talking about, we can't really sequence break this level as easily. We do have to go back and reactivate the button.
Yeah, we do need to hit the button again to sort of repair the sequence break we did. We broke the sequence for safety. You can opt to not deload these enemies here, but it makes it significantly harder. So it would be unreasonable in a marathon setting to do that. But
it's not too bad on Heroic. It's mostly the checkpoints that I want to make sure I have.
Now, we're heading up to first gen here, and this is where the trick gets a little strange. So we parked a Banshee inside. We just hit a load zone. So different parts of this level are loaded at different times. What we're going to be doing is creating a sort of incorporeal Banshee. It's very strange. It's going to look pretty weird. But so we hit the generator. We have this Banshee in here. We cross into the canyon load zone. We set up another Banshee just in the right spot where it's barely at the edge. And then we're going to go above the level, load the interior, and now we're going to carefully keep the interior loaded and jump into that Banshee out there. So this is technically...
We're now out of bounds.
We can see everything that's going on here because of the new graphics. If we were trying this in old graphics, it would just be completely invisible. That's why this is basically impossible. And now we are just flying through all of the invisible triggers that progress the level. Oh, we missed a trigger here. You can tell because the music hasn't stopped.
We can... that's alright. I'll go through the flow. So, all the invisible triggers I'm hitting, there's like one here. I messed up the timing on the W press. There's one here. And these all check on 1 second increments, so every second they check if you're inside of it.
reason we do this is, well, it takes a lot of time to run through on foot. So this whole trick is just in service of going quickly. So we basically go through the entire level like this, out of bounds, hitting all of the progression triggers. We need to do that because they're required to be hit in sequence, and we need to get to the final load zone in a state in which we can actually progress. So we are going to have to come back.
Basically the exact opposite of assault in the control room. We have to hit all of these.
But it's still faster than doing it any other way. So we're just going through. This is all pretty well-practiced movement. Nervy knows exactly where all of these triggers are. I know roughly where they are, but I'm a little bit rusty on doing this, so I take it very slowly.
If I see this boom, I hit them all in order, and that's actually what's loaded in. We just sort of hit everything out of bounds.
We go back to old graphics just so that we can see that little bit through all of the rest. Go back to new graphics, then switch back to old so that we can load it properly. And by doing that, after we do the second load, we will once again be able to see what's going on.
We need to do this for one specific required trigger where we have to kill 5 Flood, and we can't kill them unless they're, unless the level is loaded at that section. So if it's not loaded in, we can't kill the 5 Flood, so that's sort of the reason for this. Otherwise, we could actually just do all this out of bounds, but it makes for a more interesting route. It would have been much more of a boring level if we didn't have to do these loads. Here's an advanced bool route called Papega route. Basically, we do this load early, and it's really cool. I really always like showing it off, so a little less safe, but whatever.
So that was a little out-of-bounds load where we threw ourselves through the wall, got our butt inside to make sure that the canyon is loaded. We're now underneath the level. We need to be careful with this trigger and just barely scrape the underside to hit it. Otherwise, we'll
hit that. Interesting.
Otherwise, we'll go in bounds.
Okay, I'll reset this up. Here. Oh. Well.
Yep, that's what happens if we scrape a little too much.
That's okay. I'll keep going. Can I even get my Banshee through here?
You can.
With some finagling?
Do it kind of like the teleport tunnels, I'd say.
Oh, really? Oh, like, well, this will be an interesting side tangent.
Well, we're improvising here.
I haven't done, I'll just get the, there's a, should be like a hog over here, I think.
Seen some new tech live.
Yes. Yeah, you'd grab the hog here.
Gotcha.
Well, it's sort of new. If you've ever practiced the old route of TB, then a lot of this will be pretty similar, and you can improvise pretty effectively here. We won't have a rocket launcher, unfortunately, but on heroic, I don't think we'll need it.
On heroic, we'll be fine, I think.
Still need to be pretty careful with second gen. It's a little bit unfortunate to not see the payoff on that trick.
This is, that's okay.
But we do want to keep going fast.
You got to see the cool parts. That's all that matters. I haven't done this in a while either, so it's
best of luck. Second.
Oh whoa. My god. We're good.
The second gen is this room made so many people quit learning the legendary route because it was just so hard to get consistent.
Yeah, it's a brutal one. Oh my god. You just hit me with a fuel rod in midair, I think.
This is gonna be
checkpoint there.
It's going to be a little bit rough.
It's not too bad on heroic, but this is like, it's actually, I guess, kind of cool that this happened. Oh my god, there's a rocket flood. I thought Nate would have got him. That's alright. It is kind of like cool to see it though, like sort of why we do Bool, because this section is not great. It's very...
He would have died 4 times already on legendary. And on heroic, he makes it through. Let's go.
Somehow. Oh my god.
Don't forget the grunt.
We're good.
He makes it out. Okay. You got to do a 360 for good luck while you're dropping.
They're following me. If I go around this tree, though, they get confused and they crash and they go away.
Often we're going to be firing early here to make
oh, I
those
certainly
rockets
hope
shoot
they don't kill me.
And miss. Ooh.
Gotta keep it a little interesting.
Scary.
I haven't done this in a while, so this will be interesting.
Usually we'd be at this point still out of bounds. This is basically where we'd come back and be finishing the out of level trick. But we can also get through this.
We're actually going to see a legacy trick here.
We'll get the jiggle. There we go. Get that nose over and then down.
I think I might be stuck. Yeah.
I think you're good.
Oh, we're good. Hang on. There we go.
Just squeeze the banshee through. Oh, you're gonna have to go up.
Oh, we're good.
Flick a turn.
I've had that happen before.
Graceful.
Yeah, that certainly was not intended by the old Bungie devs. They put that door there specifically to make you stop using vehicles as you run through here and fight these waves of enemies on foot. But we created methods of getting both a ghost and a banshee through that door.
I am slightly nervous about banshee health. I don't think I get a checkpoint here, do I? Well, this will be interesting. I do have a checkpoint trainer if I do die here, and I can load up a core save, because I'm pretty sure my revert will be all the way back to 2nd gen. That's alright, though.
Didn't forget the skull. Very good.
We're good. I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna kind of play this really safe.
And this is very suboptimal pathing, but with 3 bars of health on the banshee.
3 yellow, yeah.
Just need to be very safe.
There we go. We're good. So that right there was where we need to kill the 5 flood. The whole reason we're even inbounds at this part. We kill those 5 flood, it wakes up the next trigger, which spawns in these guys, and now we can end the level. Not how I was expecting TB to go, but here we are.
This still wasn't too bad. Like, this is under 11 minutes, I want to say.
Yeah. Okay.
It didn't seem like you feared death at all the entire run until then, so definitely made it more entertaining.
Everything except that. Yeah, that was kind of like, I just had to adapt there. I don't usually do that, so it was a little more...
Let's get out of here.
A little less sort of expected, I guess.
You got the perfect library. Gotta lose time somewhere. We're doing a heroic specific reviver manipulation here. So this is another point where we're relying on a 40% chance, except because it's so early in the level. If we're the entire game, it executes the same way if you use the same inputs every time. So if we just for that first section, about like 7 seconds of gameplay, if we do exactly the same inputs, then we will always reliably get this reviver. So that's what we did there at the start. We made sure to start it in the same way and then not move the mouse, always arrive at that spawn at the same time, so we can reliably get that guy. And we clip through the wall, and these enemies, their AI is bound to the later section of the level, but don't actually do anything if we arrive here early.
Don't watch that terminal, by the way. That terminal is it'll scar you for life. That's all I'm gonna say.
So by pre-clearing those enemies, he's not gonna have to deal with them coming out of the cutscene. They can also kill you in the cutscene if you don't deal with them, which can be comedy, because the way the game works is it gives you a checkpoint just as you're hitting as the cutscene is starting, and if you don't kill them, you can kind of put yourself in an endless cycle of death and just completely soft lock the game because CE doesn't have double reverts. So clearing out that room is very important.
The chief up here is the cutscene chief. The real chief is actually underneath. You just can't see him. If the cutscene chief dies, it's fine. If the real chief dies, it reverts you. And you can just die in the cutscene, so we gotta make sure we kill all these guys here.
We need to get back to the Pillar of Autumn.
1 plasma is a little less ideal. For this reason. Well,
safety checkpoint, safety checkpoint.
I got a safety checkpoint earlier. We're blasting through. I hope I survive. We're fine. We're good. Hold on.
Ooh, he didn't shoot.
Not even touched. We're good.
The stress in this run escalated really quickly.
Endgame is, imagine you get like the perfect library, world record pace, oh my god, and then you have to go through all this. It's it can be rough.
Heart pounding sometimes.
The actual reason I didn't want to stop there is it's actually less safe to stop there because all the the Covenant and the Flood will enter combat with each other, and it's really hard to just kind of walk through like that. So, yeah.
I'm of a different philosophy there, I suppose.
It never gives me the checkpoint there anyway, because usually the Covenant and Flood behind you are fighting anyway. So
there's a wiggle to it.
We need to get to the bridge. From there, we use the captain's neural implants to initiate
The last level.
ship's fusion
Only a short ways to go, but it's another one of those heavy out of bounds beginnings that we recently, well, I wouldn't say like recently developed, but the way it's done is fairly new. Careful out of bounds platforming on the lights, primarily, sometimes the walls, but mostly the lights. And we're gonna get a checkpoint right about here. And that's gonna be used if we need to retry this trick. But Nervy is an IL grinder who will never fail this.
sure,
And he's,
never failed it.
we're crouching and putting our butt in bounds to hit those load zones so that the level progresses properly. Doing a little backtracking here for a terminal.
There's a shotgun here? Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's core to the classic route, if you will. Grabbing the shotgun here
I didn't
and
even realize.
rockets.
Oh, wait, what am I doing?
You need that, Wes. Good luck.
Well,
Yeah,
I need that.
Yeah, you pick it up and then just blast through here with the rocket launcher in the classic route. While it's ticking up.
I definitely want this OS. I take a safety route here just to keep as much health as possible. The grunt.
I just saw a shield regen there, a deployable cover, and it got my mind working. I might have to do a little R&D after this.
New teleports. Oh boy.
Even more teleports. And we are in the reactor room.
engine room
Our
located.
objective here is to kill...
I didn't mean to crouch that early. That's all right.
The objective here is to kill 4 of the little tubes up top.
Located.
So we need to get up there as soon as possible.
Alert.
And we'll do that with a quick nade and rocket jump.
All command access.
You can stack those two together on legendary because you take reduced explosion damage that you do to yourself, yada yada. Damage modifiers.
I also prefer that strat on legendary anyway, though, because I save a bit of health. Because, you know,
First, we need to
you never
pull
know.
back the exhaust
Yeah. You've convinced me as well. It's just a
primary fusion drive.
tiny bit slower.
the movement
kind
can
of.
be a little tight.
Wouldn't even say
That
it's
flood almost ended my whole career twice. Oh my god.
We hear the alarm, which means all 4 have been blown up. There are a couple other indicators as well, but that's the definitely reliable one. So we know that we hit all 4, and they are gone. We can leave.
Fusion reactor number 1 destabilized.
A very careful clear of this elevator to make sure that those fuel rods and the nades don't explode on us.
It doesn't look careful, but it's pre-calculated.
Cortana to Echo 419. Come in, Echo 419.
And we're on to the final little Warhog run area.
The Pillar of Autumn's engines are going critical, Bowhammer. Request immediate extraction.
This whole elevator to go all the way up, that is, the vertical distance going up is more than the actual ship, and the horizontal distance we have to drive is also more than the length of the ship. Anyway,
If you've seen the level editor and like just looked at how this level looks, it's silly. I don't know what the devs were thinking, but you know what? Nobody really cared. Oh, a little bit sketchy.
it works.
Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine this kind of structure in the middle of a spaceship? It just doesn't make any sense. But it's fun, so that's
Oh,
all that matters.
I might If I get a scripted explosion, I think I'm just dead here. Okay, we're good.
I'm doing the.
There's some RNG explosions there that can just kind of hit you and kill you, and it didn't happen, so we're good.
Nervy is a world record grinder of this level, and so he's doing the outside wiggles on the first and fourth little sections of this area. You won't see a lot of people do that because it's very difficult, deceptively so. It saves only about a couple seconds per section, but it's time save, so you gotta do it.
Some quick shout outs, I guess. Shout outs to Sloth and Cambid for being absolutely insane and grinding Legendary as hard as they have for the perfect libraries and holding it together towards the end. Garish, who held the ledge record for over 6 years. Burnt for developing all the tools, and Cambid, again, for helping them, and Wackee for helping me commentate. And we have like a lot of new runners of this game as well. Like just a lot of new people coming in and wanting to learn it. Definitely, we have like tutorials and everything on how to do all this stuff. And there's easier versions of all these strats. I'm doing a lot of things just sort of like half YOLO because I've, you know, run the game for 2 years now. But there's easier versions of all the strats if you're interested in getting involved.
So I believe is going to be our final collectible here.
The skull. This is Grunt birthday. And we actually get to see Foehammer. Can we get some 07s in the chat for Foehammer?
Wish he was a recurring character, but alas. Yeah, they brought Johnson back. Why couldn't they bring Foehammer back?
Yeah. Well.
Do we have time for a little grunt?
Absolutely.
And say hi to wouldn't call him a collectible.
Oh.
Good thing that food nipple's waiting for me at the starship. Cause man, if I worked up a big crunchy thirst.
Oh, we're saving him today. Oh no!
Spoke too soon.
I had to say it. Poor guy.
He'll be fine.
And Karma's gonna get you at the scripted.
I was thinking, now those fuel rods, I have had them follow my hog all the way and actually blow up and like flip my hog.
Yeah, that's happened to a few people.
360 swag. We do that so we don't like fishtail and die. Everyone, it feels like a lot of people come in, they like don't believe us when we say that, and then like, nah, I'll just drive straight off, and then eventually they lose a run to it, and it's like, oh, okay.
Did not get blown up by the random explosion. Good. The final boss.
Time is coming up once I drive up this ramp and it fades to white. And that is time.
GG.
GG.
Well, I was not expecting to get a perfect library, but here we are.
Perfect library.
And again, if you want to get involved, you can go to haloruns.com and join the Discord, and we got lots of tutorials and people willing to help. This section is ridiculously loud, so sorry. And yeah, final shout outs to Goat Rope, who founded Halo Runs, and it's probably a big part of the reason we're all still here. So thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Well, thanks again for being here, and congrats again on that perfect library.
Thank you. That's my library RNG for the next month. So it's all bad libraries from
Cashed
here.
it in for a good cause for our entertainment
Cashed
here.
it in.
I'm so sorry for your next month.
how it goes. All right, well, thank you again for having me. That was Halo Combat Evolved on Heroic, where we pick up all the skulls and terminals as we go. And they did add MOAs as well, which is like these bird things that you can shoot. We haven't actually like made a category for it, but people are talking about maybe adding it to this one. So maybe this route will have a humongous just rules change where we also have to get the MOAs. So we'll see.
Did anyone else make
Can't be a
I'm
true
excited for that.
completionist run without
Scanning.
literally everything.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
dust and echoes.
There's a recent addition, so we haven't really
We're all
updated
set.
anything yet. But I know people are like,
We did what
because
we
we can,
had to
we can,
for
we can.
And
The
it's
MOAs
hard
are
to
supposed to be
armada of
here,
liberated
like,
blood. We had no choice.
like it depends on the week where they're here. But we actually like can mod the map files to just always have the MOAs in. So maybe at some point we will sort of make some like a modded map and say, nope, you also have to get all the MOAs. So we'll see how that plays out. I guess might be fun.
Well, I look forward to seeing if that run ends up panning out. Sounds awesome.
All right. Well, hope I wasn't too underestimate here, but thank you for having me.
Underestimate is never a bad thing. It is a speedrunning marathon after all.
Yeah. I know how that can go.
Well, thank you again.
Is this only the
Thank you.
second time we've seen Heroic in a marathon?
Maybe
Ooh.
actually.
Can we give it up one more time for Nervy and get some 07s in chat again for the Halo Combat Evolved run? That was an incredible run. Super fun to watch. A lot of fun tech in there. I know I had a great time, so I hope y'all did too. And thanks everyone again for stopping by, for donating, for just being here for Completithon 2023. As a reminder, this is Completithon. Completithon is a charity event dedicated to completionist speedruns. This includes 100%, all collectibles, like you just saw, or even categories where you collect all of a specific collectible, such as all red berries or all shrines, just to name a few. If you are interested in getting involved or finding out more, make sure to join our Discord and follow us on Twitter to get updates about future events. And as a reminder too, this is lovingly hosted by No Glitches Allowed. So check out No Glitches Allowed on Twitter in order to see what's going on today and get updates about Completithon. And you can also find the Completithon Discord link in right below the stream in Twitch. The link is there somewhere. So you can find it there if you want to join the Discord and learn more about the marathon, get involved, all of that fun stuff. Up next, we have Paradise Killer with Roadkill Revenge. But before that, I would like to remind you all to stand up, stretch, hydrate, do all of your wonderful self-care. I will be doing that wonderful self-care. Those of you who've been here for a few days are sick of this spiel from me, but I will give it every time. I'm going to go grab some water and hydrate, and we'll be right back in a few minutes. So take care of yourselves, stand up, stretch, and we'll see you later.